Magandang kamalayan sa inyo lahat at nandito na naman tayo sa ating class or Kamalayan Learning Alternative Success System. At dito ay under po ito, ang ating class ay under ng ating online Kamalayan Lifelong Learning Center. Isa po itong eskwelahan na aking itinatag online. At kayo po ay iniimbitahan ko na maging bahagi o maging participant dito sa ating klase. Libre lang po itong ating mga pagtanghal ng ating mga subjects o pagtanghal para tayong showbiz. Share ng ating mga subjects dito. Ayan. Alright. Ako po si Tato Malay. Ako ang inyong guru or teacher dito sa ating Kamalayan Lifelong Learning Center na saan ay meron tayong tinatawag na class or Kamalayan Learning Alternative Success System. At magandang mga mga estudyante natin ay present na. At si M. Navarro Centeno is already present. Dati late. Ngayon maaga. Alright, so tuloy-tuloy tayo sa ating pagtanghal na naman. Pasensya na kayo kasi ang orientation ko kasi showbiz eh. So sa ating pagganap, tama ba yun? Pagganap ng ating klase. Ang hirap kasi alright, what I'm trying to say is welcome to our class, and today we have a special topic to discuss since we are awaiting the State of the Nation address of our President Duterte or Yusona. Meron akong palaging sinasabay dyan at aking tawag dati SOCA, State of Our Consciousness. State of Consciousness, ano nga ba yung basta state of our consciousness at the moment, whatever. Basta yun ang SOCA. But today I'm not going to call it SOCA. I'm going to call it SOWN, zone. SOWN, state of our world now. Why is it different now from what I used to do? Bakit hindi SOCA or state of our consciousness? Kasi etong nagaganap na crisis na ating na-experience ay isang talagang masasabi natin pambihira na nangyayari ngayon sa ating buhay. At hindi lang ito nagaganap sa ating bansa, hindi lang ito nagaganap sa ating country, sa Pilipinas, kung hindi worldwide. So, itong pagbabago na ito, itong sinasabi nating world, is really, literally, the world. The way we know it. But in Kamalayan, when I say world, magkakaiba ang mundo natin. Magkakaiba ang mundo ng bawat isa sa atin. Ano ibig sabihin ng magkakaiba ang mundo? We have our own worlds. Kasi ang mundo ko iba sa mundo nyo. Yung mga experiences ko iba sa experiences nyo. Yung mga kaibigan ko iba sa mga kaibigan nyo. So doon nagkakaroon ng pagbabago o pagkakaiba ang ating mga mundo. Yung mga activities ko iba rin sa activities nyo. So iba talaga yung mundo natin. So, ngayon lang siguro nagkakasama tayo sa isang activity. Pero, again, iba-iba pa rin ang ating mundo, no? So, let's really put that in mind. We have our own different worlds. Kanya-kanya tayong mundo. May masayang mundo, merong malungkot na mundo, merong naghihirap na mundo, merong nagpapaka-sasa, nag-enjoy. So, ayan ang mga ating gustong i-explain sa araw na ito. Iba-iba ang mundo natin. Pero, ang dapat nating malaman is we can create our world the way we want it. Kaya kahit nasabihin natin magkakaiba yan, pwede nating gawing maganda ang mundo nating lahat. So, ang tanong ko, handa ba kayong baguhin ang inyong mundo? Kasi kung hindi niyo gustong baguhin ang mundo niyo, wala akong magagawa. Nasa sa inyo yan. Wala akong karapatan na manghimasok sa mundo nyo. We have our own worlds, and somehow this is something that we cannot really, I would say, intrude. I would enter rather. So, ang tanong ko lang sa inyo ay kung kayo ay naniniwala na meron kayong kakayahan na magbago ang inyong mundo, well, dito sa ating pag-uusapan ngayon ay malalaman ninyo kung paano. Pero bago yan, mamaya konti ay aking pag-uusapan dito ang mga nangyayari na sa bawat, well, of course, particularly majority of our countries all over the world are experiencing somehow some similar events. Katulad ng tumigil ang mga trabaho, karamihan ng mga trabaho natin, mga ginagawa natin, mga dating pinagkakakitaan natin, ay medyo tumigil. Worldwide yan. So, ang tanong dyan is, hahayaan ba natin ganun na lang yan? So, ano ibig sabihin ng ganyang klaseng pangyayari? There is something that we can do about it. So, huwag kayong mag-alala. At tuturuan ko kayo kung ano yung dapat yung gawin. Pero what I am going to say first are what is now ongoing in terms of what we are experiencing in different parts of the world. At hindi tayo exempted. Pati dito sa Pilipinas ay ating nararanasan. So, medyo bigyan lang ninyo ako ng mga ilang minuto, konting-konti lang, dahil akin ay nais i-share muna itong aking page sa ilang walls ko. No? Marami akong mga Facebook groups sa Facebook na kung saan ay gusto kong isabay itong ating pinag-uusapan sa mga mga grupong yon. So, hayaan nyo muna akong bigyan ng aking dito, pagkakataon na ma-share. Alright, so malapit na. Ilan na lang? Dalawa na lang. Okay. Alright. So, pagka na-share ko na ito, sa isa na lang, kaya na. Tuloy-tuloy na tayo. Alright. So, ilan lang present sa atin? Uy, si Ramil Vela is watching. Ito ang aking favorite editor. At ito ay nakakasama ko dati sa sa Sound Effects, SFX Production House. Kung saan ay ako ay nag-edit ng isang programa na dinidirect ko noon. Yung Wheel Your Fortune in the Game of Life, hosted by George Season. At yun, tayo po ang naging director noon. Dati executive producer, pero nagpalit kami ng role nung aking kaibigan na dating director noon, si Director Rene Nonoy Molina, na nagpunta sa New Zealand. So umalis siya, nagpunta ng New Zealand. I had to take over his directorial job. So instead of being the producer, I became the TV director of that program. Alright, so isa na lang. Medyo pagbigyan niyo ako dito sa Hi, Lolita Villanueva Gibbon. Okay, so marami na nanonood sa atin ngayon. Okay, so isa na lang at andar na tayo. para magandang aking ayan. Alright, so ito na. Ako ay naka-program na sa aking mga walls. So ito na. Babalik ko na lang at umpisahan natin ang ating talakayan. Importante itong araw na ito, itong pag-uusapan natin na ito dahil marami kayong magiging I would say insights na makukuha rito. Dahil ito ay magbibigay sa inyo ng mga kaalaman as to what to do with your lives, no? All right. So, okay. May nag-comment na. Ang problema ko rito is hindi ko nababasa yung inyong mga comments and inyong mga tawag dito, mga likes. Kung sino man yung nagla-like na. So, sayang naman. Basahin ko naman. Sana magkaroon ng hello, sir. Press. Ayan. Okay. Yung pala. Ano pala nag-comment? Si M. Alright. May 5 lang participants but I cannot read the other names. So, pasensya na kayo kung hindi ko nababasa. Kasi hanggat hindi ko... yan. Ronnie Del Barrio is also watching. So, may dalawa pa na hindi ko nakikita rito sa aking wall, no? But anyway, so, ito na. Dito na tayong aking inihandang topic for today. State of our world now. Zone. Pag tinignan yung salitang zone, S-O-W-N, hindi yun baboy na babae. Kasi ang zone is na female pig. Yun yung kon. But yung zone, yung what you sow, you shall reap. Sabi nga, ano yung itananim mo, yun ang aanihin mo. Why zone? Bakit ko pinili yung zone na abbreviation or yung kon? Because eto nangyari sa ating na crisis na ito. This is a result of what we had sown in the past. Ito ay resulta ng ating itinanim at ito ang inani natin at ito ang nakuha natin ngayon. Bakit ito? Kasi nga, what we had sown in the past because of our negative collective consciousness, brought about many of the things that are now bringing us this crisis. Tulad ng well, kasi nga negative eh. So basically, we were not happy. So, ano ang ibig sabihin na we were not happy? Marami sa atin may trabaho nga, pero hindi masaya sa mga trabaho nila. Maraming imbis na, ito nga we went to school, we actually graduated from schools, tapos nagkatrabaho tayo, tapos, imbes na yumaman tayo, imbes na umunlad, ilan lang sa atin talaga yung umasenso ng maayos. Karamihan sa atin became employed or became employees, were employed, no? Namasukan, nagtrabaho sa mga kumpanya, earning salaries. So, akala natin, yun ang magpapayaman sa atin. Hindi pala. So, imbis na kumikita tayo at gumaganda yung buhay natin, sa tagal ng panahon sa pagtatrabaho, lalo tayong nababaon sa utang pala. Imbis na dumadami ang pera natin, nababaon tayo sa utang. Kasi nga, well, ang dami nating gastos. Marami tayong hindi pwedeng gastusan, no? Kasi may binabayaran tayong tubig, ilaw, pagkain. Kung may pamilya, may mga bata, anak tayo, mga nag-aaral, so may mga tuition fee. So, nangungupahan tayo sa bahay, o iba. Or naguhulugan o naguhulog sa bili nila ng bagong bahay nila sa hindi nila nabili ng cash. So, hinuhulog-hulugan. So, yan ang mga bagay na nagbigay sa atin ng mga imbis na dumami ang pera natin, nababawasan. At sometimes, many of us live beyond our means. Hindi natin nababudget na maayos. So, talagang nabaon tayo sa utang. And what brought that about? Well, of course, maraming nangyayari na hindi natin inaasahan. No? So, madaming tumataas ang presyo na bilihin. So, lahat yan, kahit papano, contributed to that kind of an expense. Tapos, ito na ngayon. Pinipilit natin na, yung sabi nga natin, trying to make both ends meet. Na-stress tayo, nagkakaproblema tayo, nagsasuffer tayo from whatever, and we became unhappy. And when you actually multiply that, at dumami that kind of unhappiness, you can just imagine the kind of world that we are now creating. Kasi remember, ang ating kamalayan, it is our consciousness that creates our reality. Kapag hindi maganda ang mga bagay na sa kamalayan natin, hindi maganda yung lumalabas sa buhay natin. Hindi maganda yung lumalabas sa mundo natin. That's why kanina, sinasabi ko, the state of our world now, this is it. We brought this about because of what our collective consciousness contributed to in terms of yung ginagawa nating mga iniisip natin. Alright, so ano ba ang kuhan? Bakit ganon? Kasi nga we came from that low part of our consciousness level. May degrees yan may levels yan. So, kumbaga tayo ay nandun talagang pinakamababang level. And this is something that we need to really now understand, be able to overcome. Para, eto na nga, naging, na tayo dito, tumigil lahat. And this is the time now for us to reset whatever we have to reset, our mindset, our life, to reboot everything. Yung mga nakakaintindi ng word na reboot. So, pag meron nangyayari na, kunyari, sa laptop mo, parang nagkagulo-gulo na yung mga programs mo ron, para lang maayos lang uli yung takbo, pinapatay mo yung laptop mo. Tapos, yun na nga, i-reboot mo, i-on mo uli. Tapos magkaano uli yung system nun, yung OS, operating system. So, yan ang tinatawag natin, rebooting. So, magre-reboot tayo ngayon. So, basically, ganito ang ginagawa natin ngayon, nagre-reboot. Kasi nga, nagkagulo-gulo na yung buhay natin. Nagkapatong-patong lahat ng problema natin. Sinira natin ang kalikasan. So, dahil sa, ito yung pinanggalingan natin Alright, I will enumerate to you itong different levels of consciousness that we really are now into. Ito yung kailangan natin lagpasan. The lowest level among the degrees, marami ito Dinidiscuss ko ito every now and then, pero discuss ko ulit ngayon. Ang lowest level sa ating ladder ng degrees of consciousness ay fear, takot. Yan ang marami sa atin. Fear. So, yan ang isang bagay na kailangan natin maintindihan. Ano yung fear natin? We have been watching a lot of TV shows magmula sa mga TV news na kung saan ang puro pinapakita ay mga patayan, nakawan, sakitan, aksidente, suffering, whatever. So, lahat ng mga news na pinapakita sa TV contributed to that kind of fear that we are now experiencing. Para ba natatakot na tayong lumabas ng bahay dahil ang dami ng kaguluhan, no? So, ang dami na nangyayari. So, basically, that fear that we are now experiencing came from, well, a part of that came from the TV shows that we had been watching, like the TV news. And not only the TV news, mga telenovela na puro, yung mga storya ay puro sama ng loob, puro hiwalayan, sampalan, patayan, sakitan. And these are all the things that we had been exposed to. And somehow, this has brought about that kind of fear in us. And so, ayan ang kuha natin. Second level. Pataas ito, The lowest is fear. A little above fear is greed, katakawan, kasakiman. Sabi nga, gahaman, ayan. Walang sawa, walang pagkabusog, ganid, yan. Gusto pa, meron na nga, marami na nga siyang pera, gusto pang magkaroon ng maraming pera. So, talagang lahat na lang hahamakin para nakuha lang yung gusto. And these are the things that brought about all these experiences now that we are now experiencing. This shutdown, this standstill, this pandemic. Wala. No choice. I mean, it was bound to happen. And we thought it was going to happen later pa. Pero eto na mukhang grabe na kasi talaga yung ginagawa natin sa mundo, sa buhay natin, sa kamalayan natin. So, we created this. We cannot not anymore escape this. And so this is what I am trying now to share with you, how to go about or how to turn this around. But before I talk more about these things, I'd like to say hi to Benji Carrion. Itong akin dating barkada rito sa recording industry, si Benji. Kumusta ka na, Benji? Nasa Seattle ka pa? And Carlos Paulo Villamater. Villamater talaga. Yun at apelido mo, Villamater. Maganda yun, And of course, to Gles Mangao Hernandez. And of course, to Veronica Garcia, Ronnie Del Barrio, and Lalita Villanueva Gibon, Ramil Vela, and M. Centeno. Okay. So, greed is one of them. Next level is anger. Galit. Marami sa atin, o karamihan sa atin, o halos tayong lahat. Galit. May galit. May talagang hate. I mean, talagang puot ba tawag doon sa galit? Hindi. Ang puot pala is hatred, which is the next level. Hatred. So, yan ang mga umiiral sa buhay natin, sa kamalayan natin. Yung apat na yan. Apat pa lang yan. Meron pang 3 na idadagdag ko dyan. Na talagang, yan ang pinanggagalingan natin. Kaya, ito ay talagang importante maintindihan natin na kailangan natin tanggalin sa ating sistema o tanggalin sa kamalayan natin. Oh, hello, sabi ni Benji. Okay. So, fear, greed, anger, hate. Susunod dyan is selfishness, jealousy, and resentment. Selfishness, pagka, makasarili, kaswapangan, yan. I mean, you cannot deny it. I'm sure all of you will say, yes, totoo yung sinasabi mo. Totoo yan. Selfishness. Another one is jealousy. Palagi tayong nagsiselos. Ayan. Ano pa bang selos sa Tagalog? Hindi ko yata, selos lang pala. Yung isa naman is envy. Halos pareho na yung selos, pero envy is inggit. Ano yan? Yan. Envy, kasama yun, tama. And resentment, yan. Yun ang mga bagay na talagang sumisira sa ating kamalayan. Resentment o hinanakit. Mga sama ng loob. Alright. So, yun ang mga bagay na doon tayo nanggaling. Our negative collective consciousness, composed of all those things that I mentioned, brought about this lockdown, this shutdown, this pandemic. Okay? Ayaw niyo maniwala, okay lang. Pero sa akin, ito yung talagang why we are now experiencing this. It is our consciousness that created everything here. Wala tayo sisisihin iba. Tayo yan. Yung mundo natin, bawat isa sa atin, we contributed to it. Hindi ako exempted dyan. Kasali ako dyan. And that's why I'm now trying to make something na parang to contribute to the opposite side of it, to the positive thing. Alright, so ang susunod dapat yan, okay, which I will not discuss, but I will just mention, kasi ang matataas na consciousness na level are composed of this: humility, truth, sincerity, compassion, laughter, happiness, joy, peace, success, and love. So, ang layo natin dun. Peace, wala tayong kapayapaan. Success, of course, ang success natin, alam nyo ang success, basically, that's why nagkagulo-gulo tayo ngayon eh. Ano itong pandemic na ito? It's about sickness. It's about a virus that actually attacks our health. And why is it so? Because we have neglected our health. For what? For money. Karamihan sa atin nagtrabaho nagpakasasa, talagang nagpapakamatay sa trabaho para kumita ng maraming pera at the expense of what? Our health. You know, you cannot get something at the expense of other areas. We have 4 areas that we have to really balance. Nawala sa balance ang buhay natin eh. 4 itong binabalance natin. Our health, our wealth, success, and our love or relationships. All these 4, kailangan balansyado yan. Balanse. Pag isa dyan nawala, or isa lang ang ating ginagawa, or let's say, we concentrated on wealth, pera lang. Dinisregard na natin yung relationships natin, yung family natin. Pinabayaan natin ang health natin. Oh. Is that normal? No. Because we're supposed, a happy person, a spiritual person is really someone who is enjoying all the 4 areas in one's life. So pag isa area wala, may sakit ka, that's a big problem. So yan ang ating pag-uusapan ngayon. So this is exactly where I am coming from. Now, our state of our world now, as what this, ito yung nag-bring about itong natin. So what do we see now? All right, but there are things that happened. That's why ito yung gusto kong pag-usapan ngayon. Ano ang nangyari nung tumigil ang ating mundo? And that's how we now are going to now assess our life. Okay, ano ito? Okay, so, alam nyo, sa nangyayari na ngayon, we came from an industrial age. Excuse me. And now we are now in the information age or the internet age. Ito na yung age of technology. So, basically, matagal na naman natin na experience na ito in a way, pero napabilis lalo. Mas lalo na naging advance. Now, this is what we are now in this what we call digital age. So, yan ang ating ngayon. Kailangan makuhan. Oops, nawala ako. Saan nangyari? Ayan, okay. Akala ko lang nawala. Alright, anyway. So, digital age natin is basically the one now that is kumbaga parang in place. Everything now is digital. Nawala na yung analog. Dati analog tayo. So, eto na. Completely digital ang ating buhay ngayon. What do we mean by digital? Well, we are now in the age of artificial intelligence, computers, internet. Yan ang kailangan na nating ma-embrace. We cannot do away with that. We cannot live without that anymore. Pag hindi ka pa marunong sa internet ngayon, at hindi ka pa marunong mag-operate ng kahit nasabihin natin smartphone, talagang lost ka. So, yung mga senior citizen dyan, na mga kaibigan ko, mag-aralan na ninyo itong mga latest in technology, no? Kung hindi, wala na. Hindi ko alam kung paano ka mag-enjoy ng buhay mo ngayon. Kasi everything now is in the internet. Alright? So, we have to understand that. Ano pa? So, basically, puro ngayon wireless na, Bluetooth. Sabi nga natin, I will not talk about them. I mean, I'm sure you know all these things already. And somehow parang, because of that, the way we live our lives now, nag-iba na, pati bangko nga natin ngayon. We don't have to go to the bank ngayon. Ano na, online banking na ngayon. We can actually withdraw money or deposit money through online. So, ito na, bank system natin. So, ang dami na nagbabago sa buhay natin. At ang importante ay talaga maintindihan natin ano ba ang dinudulot itong technology na ito, itong digital age na ito. Na kung saan na nga ang natin meron tayong tinatawag na nanotechnology. Ano yung nanotechnology? And this is basically the thing now that we are now really developing fast. Because many of our, I would say, mga machines. Dati kasi, nung nag-umpisa ang internet, alam nyo, ang technology natin nung nauso yung IBM noon. I mean, IBM was heard for the first time. And it had machines. Ang laki-laki ng mga machines nila. Tapos may mga cards sila noon na ini-insert doon sa program nila. Ako, dami-dami ko noon. Ewan ko ba bakit ako ng dami noon sa bahay. Because my auntie before used to work sa treasury. And she used to actually have that. She used to work with those machines. And somehow she used to bring all those cards home. So yung mga may butas-butas. Anyway, so yun ang kanon. And so, dati, ang mga internet, parang computers natin noon, were so huge. Ang laki na it would consume one room. Ngayon, kapiranggot na lang because of nanotechnology na develop nila in such a way na naging maliit na ang mga bagay na pwede na natin magamit for our advancement in terms of itong digital age na. Alright. So, yan ang mga pagbabago ngayon. Ano pa? I'll go faster kasi marami ito I want to tackle more on education mamaya kasi marami nagtatanong sa akin, ano na mangyayari sa mga estudyante natin? Mamaya, I will devote siguro half of my time doon sa education natin. So, we are now going into this kind of a direction na kung saan ay talagang we have to now really look at everything in terms of digital. And when you say digital, of course, we also talk about mga renewable energy, I don't know kung nuclear energy will be used here in the Philippines to actually run a lot of our systems. No? Pero in a way, kung talagang walang effect na negative yan, maganda sana. No? But anyway, kung wala yan. But I'm sure, nagbago na nga ngayon ang ating mundo, and we are not anymore so much dependent on oil or on gasoline or on oil. Meron na tayong tinatawag na itong ng mga ang alternative natin dyan. Meron tayong coal. Yan. Or ito nang nag-discover natin yun, yung electromagnetic systems in place na right now. So we can normally use them ng mga, kaya nga, instead of running our like automobiles or transportation using gasoline or oil, gasoline, we can now have electric cars. So yan na ngayon ang mga nangyayari o pagbabago nakikita na natin. And ito na. So ang talagang changes natin ngayon, maganda naman. I can really now see a more positive world, beautiful world that's going to happen. Kasi, we have already parang developed most of these things na kung saan ay we can let go now of other, I would say, mga naggagawa ng sumisira rather sa ating kalikasan, no? Kasi nga with the emission from gasoline, napopollute natin yung air. Ngayon, if you use electric cars, wala na yung pollution. So ito na yung mga magandang mangyayari sa atin. So, ito na yung nakikita natin mga mangyayaring pagbabago. And of course, let's put it this way. We have to accept the fact that many of us will now have to work from home. Yan ang isang masasabi nating fact na rin ngayon. WFH, work from home. But is it really practical, yung work from home? For some, yes. But for others, medyo parang hindi yata pwede pa rin. Kasi, what about the hospitals? Siyempre, people still have to go to work in hospitals, no? Yung mga nasa food business, yung mga nasa, may mga bagay pa rin tayo na kailangan lumabas pa rin ang ating mga kababayan to work. But many, yung mga construction, yung manual labor, yan, basic, kailangan sa labas yan. Hindi naman pwedeng work from home yan. Gagawin mo, magko-construct ka ng building. Akin na yung piraso ng haligi yan, gawin ko sa bahay at deliver ko na lang sa inyo. Hindi naman ganun yan. So pupunta pa rin yan doon sa lugar na kung saan kino-construct, kung saan naman yung bahay na gagawin or whatever. So, may mga ganun pa rin trabaho. So, but again, many of us, especially yung mga, sabi nga yung mga white-collar jobs, yung mga pang-office, yan, karamihan dyan, pwede na sa bahay. Bakit naman hindi? Mas masarap pa rin sa bahay kahit pa paano. Bakit? Kahit na, yun na nga, walang traffic. Hindi ka na pipila sa MRT. Hindi ka na pipila sa bus. At kahit pa paano, relax ka na. Ngayon, ano naman ang downside ng work from home situation? Well, yun na nga. We have to now make it clear as to how this kind of a system works. Kasi, it's not bringing the office to the home. Kasi akala nung iba, dinala mo lang yung opisina sa bahay, ganun pa rin ang mangyayari. Iba na Kasi pag work from home, you can wake up at any time you want. And this is not anymore something na parang you have to supervise your employees na nasa bahay, minuminuto, tatawag ka, o ano ginagawa mo dyan, ano nangyayari dyan? Hindi ganun na yan. So, you have to trust now your employees. So, and as a result, siguro, we can come up with a system na ang mangyayari dyan is we would be more concerned with results rather than yung pang araw-araw na ginagawa, no? Yeah, dati, yung pag nasa factory, yes, supervision is a must. But then again now, nag-iba na tayo eh. We're not even now parang working in a factory nga, no? So, ito na yung, baga parang online na lahat yan. So, ang importante dyan, resulta. Hindi na yung kumbaga kailangan pag nakaupo ka sa mesa mo, hindi ka, di ba, ito yung, kaya ayoko magtrabaho sa opisina noon eh. Kasi, when you're inside the office, kahit na wala kang ginagawa, kailangan nasa opisina ka. Na, many times, you have to pretend that you're doing something when in fact, wala ka namang ginagawa kasi natapos mo na yung ginagawa mo. So, pero ito na ngayon eh. Pag nasa bahay ka naman, siyempre, maraming mga bagay na magdi-distract sa'yo. Nandun yung mga anak mo na kailangan mong pakainin. Nandyan ang mga whatever. Kung ano yung ginagawa mo pang iba pag nasa bahay. So, nandyan pa rin yung But again, siguro, pag nagawa na maayos na system yan, ma-organize mo na maayos yan. So, gaganda na yan. But working from home is something that we are now really going to see happening. Ito na nga ilang days na tayong lockdown. Ilang days na tayo sa bahay? 129 days na ba? Basically, this is already something that we have now to really consider. That we have already accustomed ourselves in really staying in the house. Okay naman eh. Ako, okay lang. O sa iba. Kasi, yun na nga, you have to make your home hospitable. Ayan. Kasi kung hindi ka masaya sa bahay mo, yun ang isang bagay na magiging malaking problema. So, you have to make your home homey. I'd like to say hi to some friends before I continue again. Cindy Lee. Ay, si Dr. Cindy Lee Lumage, dentist natin to. Marlo Assistente, also watching. Buboy Hunson from Tagaytay, my good friend, si Buboy. Tagaytay workshops natin, wala na. Sayang naman. Bonjing Nicolas is watching also. And Mark Angelo Malay. Okay, so maraming nanonood sa atin, maraming nakikinig. Okay. So, tuloy-tuloy tayo sa ating sasabing state of our world now. Ang zona ko iba, zone. We have now to create our new world. We have now to create a very beautiful new world. Hindi na natin pwedeng gawin yung dati natin ginagawa, yung negative collective consciousness natin, hindi na pwede umiral yan. Kailangan positive collective consciousness. I am emphasizing the word collective kasi kung hindi collective yan, hindi talaga mangyayari ang pagbabago sa buong mundo, sa ating kinalalagyan. So we all have to be now cooperating. We have to be now more of into collaboration with everyone. Hindi na pwedeng kanya-kanya. We have now to be able to really be one with practically all of us. With nature, one with our neighbors. Yeah, sabi ni M, I can work from home kung night shift. Okay. Ano kung night shift? Bakit pag day shift? Anong problema? Alright, anyway. So, kanya-kanya tayong schedule, no? Kanya-kanya tayong style as to how we can really work from home. Bahala na tayo kung anong oras ang gusto natin. Pwedeng night shift, pwedeng day shift. Parang sa call center. All right. So, I have actually written a lot of things that I am seeing now happening. Next is, wala na tayong privacy. What do you mean by wala na tayong privacy? That is one thing we have to let go. Of course, kasi nga digital na tayo. You know, atong ang disadvantage natin. Atong mga ang Facebook, ang Google, ang mga companies, ang mga advertisers, they know more about us than we know ourselves. I will repeat. They know more about who we are than what we know about ourselves. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Mas kilala nila tayo kaysa sa kilala natin ang sarili natin. Paano nangyari yun? Well, sa algorithm. Sa itong mga ginagawa nating pagla-like sa mga nakikita natin sa YouTube, sa Facebook. Somehow, meron nakukuhang recorded information yan about us. Individually yan, Individually. And pag nakikita nila yung trend sa mga likes mo, kung ano yung mga gusto mo, na form na nila ang mga bagay na may kinalaman sa mga gusto mo. Kaya, kadalasan, kapag meron tayong mga kiniklik, may mga lumalabas na ads na eksakto para sa'yo. Para sa'yo lang yon. Dahil nga, kabisado na nila kung sino ka. Alam na nila kung ano yung magpapasaya sa'yo, ano yung gusto mo. So, yung mga ads na lumalabas, basically, are really customized for you. So, paano yan? Bakit nila alam? Kasi nga, nakuha na nila yung information from, they never ask questions. Pero kayo, pag kunyari, nag-TikTok kayo, o mayroon kayong mga games, or yung mga tawag doon sa Facebook na ako, somehow, may information kayong nilalagay doon Nakukuha yung email address nyo. Nakukuha yung there's some information that they can get from you. So, yan pa lang, nawawala na tayo ng privacy. They know everything about us. Ang importante na lang is for us to be able to still keep our personal of course, mga phone, yung mga numbers natin sa mga bank account natin, mga numbers natin sa credit cards natin. So, somehow, parang dapat hindi nila makuha yan. Kaya, yan. But aside from that, everything about us, they know already who we are. Ang isa na lang bagay na mangyayari siguro na nakakatakot in a way is in the future, kapag tayo ay kumbaga itong information technology na itong sasabi na nga nating nanotechnology really would now become part of our lives. Ito ay kumbaga magkakaroon sa atin ng siguro in a way they can now find out exactly what is wrong with our body. Ma-analyze nila na you don't have to go to a doctor anymore. May kakabit na lang sa katawan mo, and they can analyze exactly what's wrong with you. So, yan ang nangyayari na ngayon. I know of a machine na ganyan. I have already had myself parang executive check-up nga. I-analyze lahat ng makikita nila, meron lang akong hinawakan na parang ballpen And because of that, ilang minutes ko lang hinawakan yun, it was able to gather information about my body already, about what is wrong with me, kung ano yung mga sakit ko, kung meron man, nakuha na nila. And true enough, almost 90% true yung nakuha information. Now, ano ang nakakatakot dun? Di ba maganda nga yun? Okay, maganda yun. Kaya lang ngayon, what if they are now able also to measure our brain? kung anong laman na ng brain natin. Of course, di ba, sabi nga ano ba ang laman ng brain natin? Wala ka naman nakikita dyan talaga. But there are some parts, alam lang mga neurologists dyan kung nasaan ang mga areas ng brain natin nakalocate. Yung memory, kung saan nakalocate yung way of, kung mag-iisip ka ng ganito, dito yan, whatever. Alam nila kung saan nanggagaling yung mga areas na yan. What if they're able now to read exactly your brain? Na kung saan, kapag tinanong ka about your sentiments, about a certain leader, kunyari, yung president, at sasabihin mo, well, I like the president, pero lalabas dun sa scan mo, galit ka pala. So, mas maniniwala sila kung ano yung nasa loob mo. Kasi you can always smile, you can always say a different thing. Pero yung nasa kaloob mo, nasa looban mo, will, kumbaga mabubuko ka. Of course, many times, they can read body languages. Our body language. Alam nila kung magsisinungaling ka. Like, marami sa atin, when we are being interviewed, lalo na sa embassy, in-interview kayo ng mga consul, alam nila kung nagsisinungaling kayo through your body language. You cannot deny it. You cannot actually, I would say, outdo them in terms of saying something na hindi totoo. They will really see at once that you are lying. Wala ka pa nga sasabihin, alam na nila, magsisinungaling ka na. Ganun ka sila kagaling to trace what you are now going to show in your body with the way you would look, the way you would actually blink your eyes, or touch your face. The moment they ask you a question, the moment you move something to your face, your hand, na gano'n, alam na nila na, oops, that's a sign already that you're not telling the truth. The truth, denied ka na kagad. So, yan, dyan pa lang alam na nila. Pero what more kung alam na nila, to be able now, if they put something inside your body, and yun, yung maliit na microchip na yan, can really now be able, kumbaga parang they can monitor you wherever you go. Alam nila kung saan ka pumupunta, anong country ka nanto doon, at kung ano ang mga nasa kalooban mo. What if they can already develop that? Yun lang ang nakakatakot sa advancement ng technology. But that is going to happen. I don't know how soon, but maybe it's already there. Kaya lang hindi pa nila ginagamit na pangmaramihan. Pero later on, because of itong mga pandemic na ganito, they have now to really now insist that they have now to implant these microchips to be able to monitor kung sino ang may sakit. And so, in this guys, nandun na rin nakasama yung other purposes sila. Well, that's the downside of that of technology, advancement of technology. Alright, so, ano pa ba? Ngayon, ito yung nakikita na natin. We have somehow leaders worldwide. I'm not talking about just here in the Philippines. We have seen leaders who cannot really lead, especially during times of crisis, like this pandemic crisis that we are now experiencing worldwide. We now need experts. Ito na yung importante sa ating nakikita nating our politicians we cannot depend on them. Hindi na pwede just because they're popular they can be elected. We have now to really now take a look at the people who would become our leaders, and especially in times like this, we have to now look at experts to lead us. Hindi na pwedeng katulad na lang sa ibang country na dinedefine yung leader nila yung wearing masks. Tapos nasabihin nila na there's nothing wrong with our country. And kita mo, ang dami namamatay. Because, the people are not following whatever is really supposed to be done. Alam nyo, itong pandemic na ito, itong coronavirus na ito, simple lang ito if you will really look at it. Kasi, this is not airborne. Ano ito? It is communicable in terms of hawaan. So, umbaga, kung ganun ang kaso, ganyan ang kwal, mas madali yung makontrol yan. At alam mo, ang alam lang natin dito sa virus na ito, ang buhay nito is something like 14 days lang. So, all you have to do is just confine people for 14 days. At hindi na mag-i-spread yan. Ang nangyari, nung in-implement ka yung pag-confine ng gano'n, yung iba, hindi sumunod. Lumabas pa rin. And so, nagkaroon ng hawaan. Nagkaroon na ng pag-spread sa iba't ibang lugar na hindi na nila ngayon ma-monitor kasi kumalat na Pero sayang sa umpisa pa lang, katulad ng ibang bansa, at the start pa lang, alam nila, andyan na, they were able now at once to trace kung nasaan yun at lockdown kaagad sila. Yun lang. Talagang strict. Wala nang ibang ginawa kundi itigil yung movement do sa area na yun. And somehow, they were able to contain that virus. So, hindi sila kumalat. Hindi ganun kagrabe ang kanila. Alright. Anyway, so, yun yung ating nakikitang pag ang mga nagpapatakbo ng ating ganitong klaseng pangyayari ay hindi mga expert, talagang wala. Pero if you really have experts there and somehow they're able to trace at once what is really happening and what is wrong and what they can do and suggest what they can do. And yun na, kailangan maniwala tayo and we have to follow. So yan ang kailangan natin intindihin. Alright, before I continue, I'd like to read something here that sinabi ni M. Centeno. Pag day shift po, gising ang anak ko. Kaya he always wants to play with me. Of course. Okay, maganda yan. Siyempre, pag work from home ka, you have your family with you. You have your children with you. Importante, may balance. Now, you have to explain to your children also that at this time, particular time, yes, I will be with you, pero there will be times I will have to concentrate on what I'm doing. I cannot be bothered. So, dapat may ganon. So, kailangan maintindihan yon. Napag-usapan naman yan. Except, siguro, kung batang-bata, 2 years old, 3 years old, medyo hindi intindihan yan. So, you can have concessions there. But, importante kasi yan, sa family. Andyan lang nga kayo sa isang bahay. So, of course, mas maganda lang nga yung hindi na nga kayo problema kung ano nangyayari sa anak nyo dahil hindi nyo iniwanan and you had already and you have all the chances now to be with them all the time. No? So, yun na maganda. So, yun. I'd like to say hi to Kathleen Palome and Queenie Rolion. Oh, si Queenie Martin. Kamusta ka na, Queenie? And Obet Rivera. Yan, si Obet. Musikero natin. Sige. Okay, let's continue. Okay, wala pa tayo sa malaga. Paspasan natin ito. So, masa na tayo? Well, we have already discussed. Siguro, sige. Ito na, itong digital age na tinatawag na natin. We are now on the third wave. Second wave of our digital age. Papunta na sa third wave. Kasi first wave noon yung when it was conceptualized. Tapos yung second wave was when, ito na, lumabas na yung Apple, Amazon, ito na yung mga yung YouTube, yung mga ganyan, mga ang tawag dito, yung mga gadgets natin. That's the second wave. Yung third wave, ito na yung kumbaga, ito na yung mga ano pa pwedeng gawin para magbago talaga ang takbo ng mundo natin. Basically, we are not looking at flying cars, ito lumilipad na yung kotse mo. Pwede na yan pagdating doon sa ganong klaseng technology. Ano pa? We can travel, whatever. Yan ang magandang mangyayari dyan dahil, kumbaga, ito nakikita na natin sa YouTube somehow it can now be sold on a mass production, yung mga kotseng gano'n na dinadrive mo sa daan pero pag traffic pwede kang lumipad. Pwede na yan. Nakita na natin yung mga ganong klaseng kotse. Ano na yan Alright. So, sabi ni Queenie Royal Martin, hello po, just shared your Facebook Live. Salamat po at malinaw magpaliwanag. Okay. Nag-enjoy po ako. Okay. Marami pa tayong anuhin dyan. Alright. I just want to finish this thing before I talk about the educational aspect here. Well, of course, marami sa atin na wala ng trabaho, job loss. We cannot deny that happening or that kind of a crisis. No? But as what we had expected, noon pa yan, before this pandemic thing, we were telling people already, kasi kami sa Kamalayan, like me, no? Ako kasi, I always tried to study the future. That was my orientation. That was the kind of thinking I had when I was working sa recording. Kung ano yung trend, ano yung uso, we have to be at least 5 years advance. O 2 years, kahit pa paano. And somehow, eto, nakita naming mga mangyayari. Yung mawawalan na ng trabaho ang mga graduates natin in the future. And we were expecting this thing would happen in 2030 or 2040. And we didn't expect na paaga. Kasi, ang in-expect namin noon, I was telling people, at that particular year, 2030, we don't have jobs anymore for graduates. Wala nang tutuluyang trabaho ang mga gagraduate sa eskwelahan. Bakit? Because of, sabi nga natin, the digital age, everything will be taken over by AI or artificial intelligence, by robots, by computers, by the internet. So, yung mga routinary work, pwede nang gawin ng robots yan. Pwede nang gawin ng computer yan. Yan ang mga bagay na kailangan na natin maintindihan. So, ang tanong dyan is, anong trabaho ng kwan? Siguro, andiyan pa rin yung medicine. Hindi mawawala yan kasi kailangan natin magkaroon ng mga doktor. Sino pa yung mga kwan? Mga engineers. Still, we need engineers kasi paggawa ng mga building natin, mga construction natin, mga bridges, we need professionals there. You cannot just rely on someone na mag-iimbento lang siya ng isang bagay na wala siyang engineering background. So, yan ang mga kailangan pa rin mag-aral sa eskwelahan. I'm going advanced. Talk na ako. But ito na yan. As I've said, marami na mawawalan ng trabaho because we don't know what jobs would be needed in the future. Because everything will be taken over by robots, by AI. So, ang tanong dyan ano pang silbi ng eskwela? Yan ang pag-uusapan natin mamaya. But before I go to that, I'd like to now also stress on something na kailangan na natin siguro isipin na at this time. Nung nag-umpisa ang pandemic, marami sa atin na wala ng pagkain. And so now is the time to really now be able to think of growing, planting or growing our own food, mga halaman o mga crops na pwede natin kainin in the future na magbibigay sa atin ng sustansya na hindi na natin kailangan bilhin pa kung saan-saan. Now we can pick it up from our own garden. So we can be our own farmers now. Yan ang kailangan natin isipin ngayon. We have to now give more emphasis sa mga farmers. Ito na yung kailangan natin mabigyan ng mas importansya sa panahon ngayon. Kasi definitely we need food. And so somehow we need the farmers to come up with our harvests. And aside from that, yun na nga, sabi ko, going back yung sa jobs, ang importante ng mga kwan dyan is sa medicine o sa medical field, sa healthcare. So siguro, ito na yung kailangan na natin bigyan ng importansya talaga. Yung mga kinikita ng mga nurses natin, kinikita ng mga doktor natin, para hindi na sila nag-abroad. Dapat dito na kailangan natin sila dito ngayon sa ating bansa. But we need to really pay them the right salaries. So hindi na importante ngayon yung bigyan natin ng mas mahal na bayad ang ibang tao. Na nakita natin ngayon na ito pala mga frontliners natin. Kung wala ito, tapos na tayong lahat. So, pero sila yung talagang hindi kumikita ng malaki, no? Kawawa nga yung karamihan sa kanila. Napakaliit ng sweldo nila. So, this is now the time to restructure all these things. Okay, so, let's now go to education. Ano ang nangyayari ngayon sa ating klase? Meron ba tayong eskwelahan? Papasukan? Mukhang handa na ba talaga lahat na pumasok o bumalik? O baka naman wala na. Hindi na tayo babalik sa ating classroom. Ano na? Online na lahat. Well, let's put it this way. Noon pa, sinasabi ko na, I'm talking personally about my own experiences. I never learned anything from school. Of course, I did learn how to read, how to write, the basic, how to talk, how to count. But beyond that, wala akong natutunan. What do I mean wala akong natutunan? I went to the best schools. Kaya lang, I actually finished school. In terms of kwan, kaya lang I didn't get a diploma because yung major subjects na aking kinukuha noon, yung course ko, hindi nila ino-offer yung mga subjects ko. So, kasi kukonti lang daw kami. So, dahil business yan. Alam nyo, yung malungkot sa eskwelahan It's a business rather than yung parang mas talaga sa buhay, yung nakakatulong sa atin lahat. Ngayon, tumagal ako ng one year sa college. Imbes sa 4-year course yung kinukuha ko, 5 years ako dahil they were not offering the subjects I needed to complete my major subject, my major. And so what I realized na hindi na nila i-offer at hindi ako makakagraduate with a major. I quit school. Sabi ko, lokohan na lang ito ano kayo? Dahil hindi kayo kikita sa akin at dahil pag isa lang ako, kulang yung pangsweldo nyo sa teacher. Yan ang nangyari So, I quit. I got out from school and I looked for jobs. Eto ngayon. Doon ko na-realize. Pag-apply ko sa mga trabaho, all the while I thought, sabi ko, kahit pa paano, alam ko graduate ako Kasi lahat ng kasabay ko, na may diploma, pareho lang naman yung mga kinuha namin na mga minor subjects, no? Pero yung mga major lang nagkaiba. Pero basically, halos pareho lahat ng pinag-aralan namin. Kasi karamihan sa kanila, naging kaklase ko. And so, when I applied for jobs, when I actually took entrance exams sa mga companies na pinag-applyan ko, I failed the entrance exams. Doon ko na-realize, wala pala akong alam talaga. Bagsak ako sa IQ. Ang dami kong in-applyan, bagsak ako sa IQ lahat. Which is, I think, many of our graduates, ganun din ang experience. That's why they end up in very, I would say, mga jobs na napaka beneath or parang napakababa para sa uri ng course na kinuha nila. Dahil wala kumukuha sa kanila. Dahil nga, the kind of preparation that they had was not sufficient. And this is what exactly I am trying to say. Yung tinuro sa atin, actually, after 1 year, pasay na lahat. So, wala nang bago. So, nagbago ang mundo, nagbago ang kailangan, ang needs ng mga kumpanya, but these were not addressed by schools. So, wala akong pagkakataon na mapatunayan sa kanila kahit paano pwede ako mag-aral ng kung ano man yung kailangan kong malaman. But anyway, so doon ko nakita ang nangyari sa akin ay nangyayari din sa karamihan na ang daming jobless. Sabi nga ng gobyerno, ang daming ino-offer ng trabaho. Bakit walang nakukuhang mga aplikante? Dahil walang pumapasa sa mga requirements ng mga jobs na available. That's the truth. Hindi nagmamatch. So yan ang sinasabi kong problema ng education department natin na okay, we got educated for what? Ang tanong. Basahin ko muna sinabi ni Queenie. Ngayon po, mukhang di lang estudyante ang mag-aaral. Pati nga mga magulang na din po sa guide po sa mga anak na kumukuha ng online class. That's true, exactly. Okay, good thing you mentioned that. This is why exactly I formed my Kamalayan Lifelong Learning Center. This is because I am now teaching a lot of things that were never taught in schools. Ito na yun. And that's why I'm trying to now share my life. No? Thank you, Queenie, for mentioning this. Kailangan, not because you have graduated already, hindi pwede sabihin mong, alam ko na lahat. Ang dami ng pagbabago. Malilay off ka pag hindi ka nag-aral uli. And somehow, ang tanong dyan, saan ka mag-aaral ngayon? Tinuro ng eskwelahan mo yung lahat na ituturo sa'yo. You cannot anymore learn anymore from your school. So you have to now learn on your own. And this is where I am emphasizing yung self-learning or self-education. Dito sa Kamalayan Learning, this is not something that you are actually attending a class na kung saan ay ako ang teacher nyo. I am just here to guide you. You are teaching yourself. I am guiding you to teach yourself. Self-education ang aking purpose dito. For you to enjoy learning. That is what schools destroyed in our lives. The love for learning. Yan ang napaka-importanting bagay sana na ibinibigay ng educational system natin o ng mga eskwela natin sa mga bata. But yan ang sinira nila, that love for learning. Why? Because they were more concerned about grades. They were more concerned about exams. Dahil yan ang basihan nila na natuto ang isang tao, na isang bata. Doon nila na-measure. Kaso nga, ang gagawin lang ng bata is just to memorize what is there to be memorized para maipasa. Kaya nga ang mga valedictorian, yung mga salutatorian, yung mga highest honors, yung mga magaling mag-memorize. Yung mga hindi magaling mag-memorize katulad namin, katulad ko, help, bagsak. Wala, bagsak sa sa mga exam. So ito ang isang bagay talaga na maling-mali ang tinuro ng eskwela. The only thing that schools should teach is to make students love to learn. Yun lang yun kailangan ituro eh. Matutong magmahal na kusa mag-aral. That's why tutuwa ako sa nangyari ngayon sa internet because you have Google. All the information now is already out there. No teacher can compete. Sabihin niya, I have to be under me to be able to learn this subject. What that teacher is saying is, akala niya totoo, akala niya magaling siya. Pero actually, lahat ng pwede niya ituro, pwede nang i-google ng estudyante niya yung kailangan niya malaman from that teacher sa internet. And everything will be there. Ang tanong is, paano niya hahanapin yan? Yun ang kailangan maituro sa mga bata. That's why tama yung tanong ni Queenie. Because basically, parents should already be able to guide their children as to what to learn. Kasi hayaan lang nino, don't force your children to learn something they do not like to learn. They will hate learning. Don't force your children to read books as early as whatever age you think they should read. Yung iba, 4 years old, 3 years old, tinuturuan na magbasa. Kapag hindi pa time ng bata gusto magbasa, and you force that kid to learn how to read, that kid will not read any book from then on. That was what happened to me. I grew up being forced to read a lot of textbooks. That's why I hate textbooks. I never opened my textbooks. I never learned from textbooks for that. And somehow, sabi nga ng friend ko, nung sinishare ko sa kanya na walang nangyari sa aking education, when I told him that I don't have a job because I couldn't get work dahil palagi ako bagsak sa entrance exam. Sabi ko, ano kailangan kong pag-aralan? Sabi niya, wag mo nang balikan yung textbook mo. Pasay na lahat yan. Go to the bookstores, look for the books, the latest books that you can find, the books that you want to read. I will not tell you what books that you should read. Kung ano yung gusto mo, yun lang ang basahin mo. And that's what I did. And that is what you should tell your children. Don't force them to read. Wait for them. Sa ibang schools nga, may mga progressive schools. They never really taught their children to read. Yung mga estudyante, grade 4 na hindi pa marunong magbasa. Pero advanced school to, mahal to. Pero bakit ganon? Kasi nga, they did not want to force their students to learn how to read until the student would ask the teacher, can I learn how to read now? Because I want to read. And that is the only time you can really now teach that child how to read. And somehow, because siya na yung kusa, gusto matuto, you did not force. Kasi the moment you force and you make them read whatever, definitely goodbye. That kid will not read anymore, anything. And that's what happened to me. And when I learned how to read again, after graduation, after getting out from college, because I was already reading the books that I wanted to read, I bought hundreds of books, thousands of them now, which actually became my Kamalayan library. My Kamalayan libraries, ang dami ko libraries. I mean, I have 2 right now in Baguio. And I still have a lot of books here. Yung kotse ko nga, punong-puno pa rin yung libro kasi wala na akong paglagyan. Yung mga coolers ko rito, ang laman yan, hindi yellow. Mga libro. Because I started to love how to learn. And that brought me, all this knowledge. Because, yun na nga, kusa ako na yung naghahanap ng kung saan ako makakapag matututo ng bagay na ganito or mapapag-aralan ng isang bagay. And ito yung mga ginagawa ko ngayon. And most of them now I can find them in the internet, in YouTube, in Amazon. So I practically have everything. I love learning so much, and somehow every day I learn new things. And eto nga lifelong learning center natin, this is something that I want to emphasize. This is lifelong. Yung learning cannot be up to a certain time lang nasasabihin mo, oh, nag-masters na ako, tama na. O, nag-PhD na ako, tama na. Nako, walang katapusan ito. Ongoing ito. Things are changing fast. Technology is changing everything so fast. And we have to learn new things practically every day. And somehow, ito na yung kailangan yung maintindihan. Talagang importante sa ating mga kabataan na mahalin ang pag-learn. Ha? Bahala na sila to learn whatever. I-guide na lang ninyo. Don't say, ay, wag yan, wag ito. But kung gusto niya, hindi, hayaan mo. Kung ano man yung gusto niya. But you can expose them and find out, make them realize na kung ano yung gusto nila. Kasi you have to find out what they like eh. Kasi they will not like everything. You cannot like, tayo naman lahat, hindi naman natin lahat gusto. Namimili lang tayo ng ano yung gusto natin. That's why mayroon tayong course. Pinili natin kung ano yung course natin. And somehow, pagpili pa natin ng course, mali pa. Depende pa yan kung saan yung gusto ng tatay o ng nanay o ng mga kaibigan. So we never really even chose our own course to take up in college. So yan ang importante. So ako, I would love to see students learn sa online because definitely that is where they will get their knowledge for the rest of their life, for the rest of their lives. Sa internet, sa online, sa YouTube yan, or sa Google, or sa Amazon, andyan na lahat. All the information they need is going to be there. Are going to be there. Now the thing here is, we need to guide them. And if they will have teachers, the teachers will not teach anymore. They will just have to guide the students as to what they want to learn and explain if the students have questions. And kadalasan na ngayon, ang mga teacher, mas advanced pa ang mga estudyante. Mas marami pang alam ang estudyante kaysa sa kanila. And so, yan ang problema nga nila. They cannot anymore. Kaya bored ang mga bata sa school. Because they know more than their teachers now. Because they have more advanced knowledge because of what they have already learned from the internet. So ano pa? Marami tayong pag-uusapan about the educational system. But then again, makakuha na tayo rito. We'll cut short. Masobra na nga tayo ng 1 hour. We're already going beyond our one. But anyway, ito muna. I still have some other things, but I will just now siguro emphasize on just one more thing before we end our class today. All right, I'm looking at all my list. Ang daming pages na sinulat dito, but then again, all right. Okay, now, siguro dito muna tayo mag-stop. There is one thing first that we have to learn. And what is that? We have to know who we are. Self-awareness. Iyan ang dapat natin mapag-aralan. Marami sa atin graduate, never knowing who we are. That's why we don't know what will make us happy. Diyan nagkaroon ng malaking problema ang ating mga kababayan. Lahat ng mga ginagawa natin, hindi nagpapasaya sa atin. So, we end up destroying our relationships, our health, because we were not happy with who we are. So, ngayon, ito lang ang muna kailangan natin pag-aralan. We have to know who we are. Everything about ourselves. What we want, how we feel about certain things, our personality. Yeah. We will discuss more about these things in the future. And so, ang aking palagi na lang ending dito ang dami natin pag-uusap pero sayang. Anyway, maraming salamat sa mga nag-participate ngayon. Like ito sila Queenie. Ang sabi nga ni Queenie, since ako po ang guardian ng pamangkin ko, mukha pati ako po ang mag-aaral Oh, lahat yan. Kailangan, if you cannot actually learn what they are learning, you cannot teach them because you don't know what to teach them. So you have to learn what they are learning. That is something that you are already also going to learn now because bago ito sa iyong kaalaman. So mag-enjoy ka na rin. So sabayan mo na, mag-aral kayo sabay. You would need that kind of information as well, that knowledge. So with that, I'd like to say thank you very much to all those who had listened or participated in our class today. At on Sunday, we will continue this talk about our SONA, or SOM rather, sown, ano ba? Sown. What have we sown? SOWN, state of our world now. And this is really very, very important. So with that, I'd like to say magandang kamalayan uli sa inyong lahat.